1 month ago, I was sitting in my father's lawyer's office staring at a number that didn't feel real. $900,000. The lawyer slid the paperwork across the table and spoke, in that careful tone professionals use when they know something emotional just happened. My father had left the money to me. Only me. I remember nodding, signing where I was told, and walking out with a folder that felt heavier than anything I'd ever carried. Not because of the money, because my father had always been quiet about his intentions. He never explained much while he was alive. Apparently, he had explained enough in his will. When I got home, my mother was in the kitchen making tea. My sister Marissa was sitting at the table scrolling through her phone. I placed the folder down. "Everything go okay?" my mother asked. I said yes. That was the moment things shifted. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just a small pause in the room that lasted a little too long. Then my mother asked, casually, "So how much did he leave?" I told her. Marissa's head lifted immediately. "Wait," she said. "He left it to you?" I nodded. For a moment, nobody spoke. My mother stirred her tea slowly. "Well," she said, "that's nice." Then she added, very calmly, "Of course you'll share it with your sister." It wasn't phrased as a question. I remember leaning back in my chair, trying to understand what she meant. "Share how?" I asked. My mother waved her hand like the details weren't important. "You know what I mean. Marissa needs stability right now. She has the kids. You're single. It just makes sense." Marissa didn't say anything yet. She just watched me waiting. I felt something familiar tightening in my chest. Growing up, Marissa had always been the one everyone rallied around. She had bigger problems, bigger emotions, bigger crises. I was the quiet one. The reasonable one. The one who understood. Understanding usually meant giving things up. I opened the folder again, mostly to buy time. My father's name was printed at the top of the document. "I'm not giving it away," I said. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just said it. The room changed immediately. Marissa laughed first, but it was the kind of laugh that only exists before someone gets angry. "Are you serious?" My mother looked genuinely shocked. "Don't be selfish," she said. "This is family." I could feel the old pressure building. The one that used to make me fold during arguments just so things would calm down. But something felt different now. Maybe it was the quiet confidence in the lawyer's voice earlier. Maybe it was knowing my father had made the decision deliberately, or maybe I was just tired. "I'm not giving it away," I repeated. Marissa's chair scraped loudly across the floor as she stood up. "You're unbelievable," she snapped. My mother turned toward me with the same disappointed expression I'd seen my entire life. "Your sister has responsibilities," she said. "You don't." I looked at both of them and realized something strange. They weren't discussing the inheritance. They were discussing obedience. And for the first time, I wasn't playing along. Marissa's face turned red. "You know what?" she shouted. "If you're going to act like that, pack your bags and get out." I blinked. "What?" "You heard me," she said, pointing toward the hallway. "You live here. If you don't want to help this family, you don't get to stay here." I looked at my mother. She didn't stop her. That was the moment something inside me settled. Years of small arguments, small expectations, small sacrifices suddenly made perfect sense. I stood up slowly, and then I started laughing. Not loudly, not mockingly, just a quiet laugh I couldn't stop. Marissa looked confused. My mother looked offended. "What's funny?" Marissa snapped. I shook my head. "Nothing," I said. But it wasn't nothing. It was the realization that they genuinely believed this would work. That I'd panic. That I'd apologize. That I'd transfer the money just to keep the peace. Instead, I walked down the hallway and packed a suitcase. Neither of them followed me. Neither of them tried to stop me. When I walked out the front door, the house felt strangely small behind me. The first week was quiet. I rented a small apartment across town. Nothing fancy. Just a place with clean walls and a couch that smelled like new fabric. For the first time in years, nobody expected anything from me. Marissa texted a few times. Long messages about family responsibility. My mother sent shorter ones, mostly guilt. I didn't respond right away. Then, about 2 weeks later, the lawyer called. "Just a quick clarification," he said. "We're finalizing the estate documentation." There was something almost amused in his voice. "Your father included a condition in the will you should be aware of." "What kind of condition?" I asked. He cleared his throat. "The inheritance is legally structured, so it cannot be transferred or gifted to immediate family members for 5 years." I sat there quietly. "Your father added that clause personally?" The lawyer continued. "He was very specific about it." I looked around my small apartment. My father had never been a man who explained his thinking out loud. But sometimes silence said enough. He knew exactly what would happen. 2. Now it's been a month. The messages from home have slowed down. Not angry anymore. Just careful. The space between us feels unfamiliar, unresolved. But for the first time in my life, I'm not waiting for someone to tell me what the right thing to do is. And the strangest part, the money still doesn't feel like the inheritance. The inheritance was the decision my father made quietly, when no one else was in the room. He chose me, no conditions.